Salutations everyone, I'm Super9SonX, and today we are playing a game called Missing Stars. This is just the demo, and I'm seeing a lot of work out of them. I'm on their Discord server, and a lot of the work I'm seeing is very nice. And today they just released the demo. Today is January 6th. This will be up tomorrow on the 7th, but I hope you will enjoy this game nevertheless, and hopefully everything goes well. I've been really excited because I've been hearing a lot of the talk about it, and I'm very excited to see what to expect. Apparently mature content's enabled, so if there's anything bad, I'll be sure to censor it, but let's give this a try. I've actually been very excited because this came up when I was looking up a game called Katawa Sojo, because I was missing it. So let's see what we were getting into. I can only see black. It's here again, that sound. The sound fills my body, choking me. I can't feel my leg. I clench my fists on my thighs, struggling to feel something there. Nothing. I call out for help, but there's nothing. No one will find me here. There's nobody out there. No one is coming. I'm going to die out here. My hands are going numb, gloves soaked through with blood. They slip against the wet fabric of my pants. I throw off my covers, damp with sweat, confusion, and panic blurring my vision as I struggle to stop the bleeding, but there's no blood. My breathing is shallow and ragged, as though I've just ran 100 miles. Adrenaline is still coursing through my system. I try to slide down the edge of the bed, but my leg tangles in the sheets, and I topple graciously to the ground. This pressure makes it hard to move, and my vision is tunneling as I try and fail to catch my breath. Okay, Eric. Try to think back. Remember what the doctors told you. Breathe in. I inhale, or at least try to. And breathe out. I wheeze out as much as my panicked body will allow and try to repeat the process. My body is being crushed by my own mind. As I try to breathe, I am drenched in sweat now. It's straining out of me like water from a wrung sponge. Time is dragged to a crawl, but my heart only seems to be getting faster. Its dull, violent thumping filling my ears like tiny explosions. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Eventually, the pressure lifts and I can finally pick myself up off the ground. I limp my way to the window next to my bed and crack it open. There's a breeze. It's cold, but keeping warm is low on my priority list. As the cool night air pushes into my face, I inhale and gulp it down like it's the freshest thing I've tasted in years. Yet this air is something I first encountered only a few hours ago, and the charming back alley views only assist to serve a reminder of where I am. Vienna, Austria. It's not the most glamorous view of the city, but the fact that I even have my own room keeps me thankful. My older sisters are hosting me and my parents for the weekend, something we could all thank them enough for. Even if it's the reunion and all of us were expecting, even if it isn't the reunion all of us were expecting, I should get back to bed. Maybe the cool air will help. However, my right leg refuses to cooperate. Come on, you. I hammer at it a few times in frustrated attempt to get it to move, but it just hangs limply from my body. It's been like this for over half a year now. Physically, my leg is fine, but still refuses to agree with that assessment. At best, I feel my leg isn't there, and at its worst, I can't even get it to move. I have difficulty sleeping at night, my mind racing, reliving the events of the day over and over. I get more anxious over small things, I have more frequent nightmares, and I can't. I bite my tongue to derail my own train of thought. I shouldn't be like this. This part of me is not what I want to be. Still struggling between sleep and waking, cold air blowing against my face, the tears welling up in my eyes take a moment to register. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I won't cry. I'm not that fragile. I won't. I won't let myself. What a vicious cycle. Wanting to cry makes me want to cry. Deep breaths, deep breaths. What kind of man am I being right now? Who cries in the middle of the night because of a nightmare? It's so pathetic. It could have happened to an adult. It happens to soldiers and policemen and firemen and all the time. Would you say those people aren't brave? One of the doctors said that to me. Maybe it's true. I don't know, and I don't want to research it. But if so, what? They never talk about it. They never show it that to you. Oh Lord. Another knock on the door, steps on the wooden floor. I appreciate that rhyme. Another knock on the door, steps on the wooden floor outside the room. Please, please don't be Mom. Eric, sweetie. Oh, Eric, sweetie. Well, I've gone and done it now. Mom's voice is gentle and concerned. My muscles tense up involuntarily. Eric, is everything all right? My throat tightens. Yeah, it's nothing. Are you sure? I heard banging down the hall from down the hall. I'm okay, I just had a bad dream. I'm so awful. Mom quietly opens the door and makes her way to the end of my bed. It's hard to see her with only dim moonlight, but I can practically feel the concern radiating off her. Is that why you opened the window? I apologize for my bad voice acting. I'm just going to keep sticking with my voice. I just needed some fresh air. The room felt a little... My mind blanks. I actually don't know where to take that train of thought without admitting to my episode. There's never a reason for these episodes. No easy explanation that I can give her. It's just hard to fall back to sleep. Come here. It's going to be fine. Eric, you're covered in sweat. Are you feeling ill? No. It was just the dream. Is your leg giving you that much trouble? Could you get up okay? Mom, I'm fine. My leg's fine. I just have a lot on my mind, that's all. I try my best to dispel any concern that my mom has. Traveling all the way to Vienna is already giving her enough to deal with without adding unpredictable panic attacks to the list. Is it about the school? I pause. That. A colleague of my father suggested that I attend a specialty school for the treatment. Apparently they had a relative that graduated from there with high honors. St. Dyphans? Oh, man. St. Dyphans Private Gymnasium. I hope I got that right. A school for people like me. A little bit. I think I really don't know. Whether or not I was ready for this change doesn't matter much anyways. After my diagnostics, my parents spent a lot of their time trying new ways to help me, from specialized therapists to medication. Promising leads turned out to be duds or outdated therapies. Even the medication I've been taking isn't helping much, especially since it doesn't treat the underlying problem. At this point, I'll reluctantly accept any additional help I can get. It'll be a good change for you, sweetheart. Your father and I made sure of it. My parents did some research and found a promising therapist who worked at St. Dyphans. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher that. Before long, we were all on the way to my final year of secondary school. Yeah, I know. I know they had the best intentions at least. As for where that road leads, well, that isn't certain. What I do know is that I'm incredibly exhausted and feeling more on edge than I have since the accident. It feels like I'm being introduced to new sights, new smells, new everything. I want to be excited, but all I can think of is how easily it can go all wrong. Everything has a potential threat. I know it's been a rough few days, but you know we're here for you, Eric. Always. She hugs me tighter. By instinct, I hug back in response. Something about mothers is they're naturally able to figure you out, even without you saying much. After my panic attack, I really needed this. Mom, thanks. Anytime. She pats me on the shoulder and her expression shifts to a warm smile. Now your sisters have been dying to show you the city tomorrow. Are you okay to get some rest, or do you need anything else? I'm tempted to ask for water, but at this point I doubt it would do much to steady my nerves. I'm okay. I really appreciate the checkup. It's my job as a mother, come on. I feel like a kid as she gently pulls me up and tucks me in and kisses me goodnight. Mom, really? She grins. All part of my job, sweetie. You want your window closed? I shake my head. The air is faint urban sounds, now becoming a little more comfortable to me. Well, if you need anything, I'm just a call away. I know. Good night, Mom. She lingers a little, giving me one last smile as she brushes the top of my head. Good night, Eric. She leaves my bedroom, and I'm alone once again. As before, my mind drifts into my condition, but I guess I'm luckier than most. I'm lucky that my condition isn't worse. I'm lucky that I have a family just to shout down the hall, and I'm lucky to still have a leg, really. It's these thoughts that brings my mind to what kind of home I'll find at St. I might just call it St. D. That's okay? St. D? Yeah. St. D's. Against the noise of Vienna's city life, my mind finally drifts away, fading from the lingering thoughts of an uncertain future. So far, I like the story. Oh, Eric, are you up yet? At least he's got some sleep. I crack open my eyes. Daylight streams through the open window. Before I can even respond, I hear the door open, footsteps rushing in to greet me. Hi there! A girl is inches away from my face, cheerfully greeting me. It's a face I know all too well. Morning, Beatrice. A tired mumble escapes me as I greet who most people assume to be my younger sister. Beatrice, however, is my senior by a few years. Excluding youth that belies her true age, she's like a true little kid. She's like a little kid, shaking with energy. She tries to pull me out of bed. I'm not ready for this. She'll still drained from last night. I work to pull the covers up to as far as my nose. Sorry about that. Mind if I sleep in some more? Beatrice pouts, a classic expression of hers. But we have breakfast. As if on cue, my stomach begins to complain loudly to me. Maybe I can reconsider. What's on the menu? She winks at me. You have to get your butt out of bed and find out. She whips the cover off my bed in one last ditch effort for me to finally get up. Instinctively, I pull the covers back. Beatrice just pulls them off playfully again. It's really not as funny as she seems to think it is. Okay, you win. At least let me wash up first. Success! She cheers and proceeds to jump off my bed and dash out of the room and run down the hallway, announcing my eventful arrival. With my covers at the end of the bed, I guess it was a right choice to wear my pajamas instead of going for a more free option. Thankfully, my morning prep isn't too extensive, with just a rinsing of my face and a quick combing of my hair. I'm all set for some breakfast. I'm liking the art style of this game. I enter the main area of the flat where my rest of the family is squashed into somewhat small dining space. Morning, everyone! Mom immediately comes to my side, patting my shoulders. Eric, good morning. How are you feeling? Good, kind of hungry now that I see what you and Beatrice have been up to. There's a delicious looking spread of eggs, toast, bacon, and fresh pastries almost overflowing from the small table everyone is seated at. My mouth starts to water. I realize that I haven't really eaten since I left home. Well, I'm glad to see that our baby brother is still easily swayed by some home cooking. My older sister, Brunhild. Oi, I'm gonna be bad at these names. Oh dear. Brun. We'll call her Brun. We'll call, be comfortable. Brun rises from the kitchen table to greet me. Beatrice, exact opposite. Brun, through, we all call her Hilda. We call her Hilda, so we'll just call her Hilda. Hilda was always a bit more stern with me and my sister while we were growing up. Cool, collected, and responsible. That's her personality in a nutshell. How can I be a baby if I'm the tallest one here? Height is no indication of maturity. It's so easy to tease her, though. It's the only thing you'll never hold over me. I take pride in that. Her eyes narrow, straightening herself and taking a commanding stance. Stepping close, she reaches her hand up purposely over my head and proceeds to tousle my hair. Her pout quickly dissipates into a warm and comforting smile. She pulls me in for a quick hug, though it's a bit lighter and stiffer than how I remember them. A bit more careful. Still, the feeling's gone in a flash. Her eyes are soon back on mine. I missed you. It's great to see you up and about, Eric. I miss you too. I hate how every time I see you guys, there has always been some reason behind it. It's understandable. Making a trip out to Vienna isn't something you can do on a whim. If anything, it would be more feasible for us to come visit you. What's wrong with a thought? Well, it's a thought that counts, right? I don't think any of us have as much spare time as we used to. Speaking of which, where's Dad? He stepped out to take a phone call. Even on a weekend? Jeez, work never lets up for him, does it? It's never unheard of for Dad to take or receive calls at any time during the week. It seems like someone always needs him for something. I'm sure he hates it at this point. Sit down and eat something, Eric. The food's getting cold. My sister's reminder that the food exists is enough for me. I plopped down and I immediately handed a huge plate, a canvas for me to create a picture of a perfect breakfast. Just take what you want. I made a bunch for everyone today. Beatrice is apparently far more skilled than I am at the culinary arts. I doubt I could have made scrambled eggs by this time, let alone the array of breakfast foods in front of me. I take a generous sampling of eggs, bacon, and with a gentle nudge from my mom, I take a spoonful of fruit too. Coffee, sweetie? Sure, I'm surprised Beatrice didn't drink all of it. I take it that's your version of please? I mean, geez, Eric, I'm not that obsessed with coffee, you know. Of course, she's already holding a cup as she says this, which seems to realize the moment the words have left her mouth. If this wasn't her third mug into a potential heart attack, I'd be thoroughly surprised. Enough, girls, cut your brother some slack, at least for today. We're in their house, and already my mother has taken the control of the situation in a way his treatment does. Oh, wait, I missed that. We're in her house, and already my mother has taken control of the situation. In a way, this treatment does kind of feel wrong. But I could get used to this treatment. In the back of my head, though, I'm well aware of what Monday will bring. A new school and no more breakfast as good as this one, at least not until Christmas. St. D's. It's a photogenic school, at least if their website is anything to go by. The campus was an old Jesuit monastery until they converted it into a school a few decades ago. A school for people with problems. I'll be seeing it tomorrow. Today, however, my sisters want to take me around Vienna while Mom and Dad take care of some school paperwork and arrange to meet with the headmaster. I don't know how different this will be from the other therapists and special organizations I've visited in the past few months. All I can think of is the alien sterility of the hospitals. Pastel green to keep the patients calm, the smell of antiseptics and bleach, and the worst of all, the uncanny appearance of the patients that I would occasionally catch a glimpse of. Okay, we'll be there soon. Thank you, Doctor. My dad finally returns from his phone call. Ah, Eric, glad to see you're awake. Ready for today? Pretty much. You and Mom are taking care of the admission paperwork today. Most of it, anyway. I was talking to Dr. Bosworth to confirm that we're meeting him today, but he's, well, quite the talker. Dear, would you like something to eat before you go? Some eggs manage to survive. Of course, I'll take a plate. Coffee too, if you can spare a cup. If Beatrice left any, that is. I heard that, Eric. Mom quickly runs to fetch a cup. So, Eric, are you ready for today? Your sisters are very eager to show you around the town for a while. Yeah, I guess. I haven't seen Vienna ever since we helped them move here. It's a beautiful city, classical architecture, plenty of shops and cafes. You'll have fun, I'm sure. Eric, Beatrice is almost ready. Why don't you wait outside with me? Sure, sounds good. I hand over my empty plate and mug to Mum, and prepare to head outside. Keep saying Mum. It's a Mom. I follow Hilda as we both wait for Beatrice to finish up. The morning air is thankfully nice and cool, and hopefully a solid indication for the upcoming weather. So, I've been meaning to ask, but... She hesitates, looking at as if she carefully crafting her next words. How's... She pauses, a clear twitch on her usual and balls. I was thinking like impenetrable, but imperturbable? Isn't it? I don't know. Face. Her face that doesn't change emotion. Dang it. As she mulls over how to broach the question hanging in her lips. How's the leg? There it is. The question I've been dreading ever since I got here. It's not like I wasn't expecting this from her. She's never been one to dance around issues. There's no use in evading the question or brushing her off. I know that look in her eyes, she has to know, or eat at her all day. Well, it's fine, I guess. It's still attached and all. That's not what I meant. Is it still numb? I mean, I could go on about how it kept me up last night, or how it keeps reminding me of the accident, or how sometimes it decides to stop working entirely. But I don't have the heart to tell her those things. I can't bear to make my family more upset at their broken Eric. And it's not like I don't know why she's asked that question. Her little brother is going through something that she can't figure out or solve. It must be frustrating for her. Hell, it's frustrating for me. Right now, all I can do is reply with a simple answer. Simply put, yes, it's still pretty numb today. It seems to be okay, enough to go around town with you and Beatrice, at least. I see. Silence. When is Beatrice coming out? She's taking her time. I know this isn't my place to say this, but wouldn't it be better for you to work with a physical therapist back at home? Well, what will a school do for you that a dedicated doctor can't? Her question cuts into the heart of the conversation I'm pretty sure she wanted to have with me for a while. While in most cases she'd be correct, there's something else that's been driving my motivations to come here. Oh dear, decision making. Oh no, can I save? Save game. Always save. I just want to go back to school. I want to get better. I just wanted to get back into school. Mom and Dad approved. They think environment here is a good thing. Really? Plus, I still want to go to university, so I have to keep up my studies and do something with my time. I guess when you put it like that, it makes sense. That's quite responsible of you. She turns to put her hands on my shoulder. But if things get bad, I want you to know that we're here for you, Eric. Yeah, thanks, Hilda. Sorry to keep you waiting. As of a cue, Beatrice pops out of the front door, apparently finished with cleaning up inside. What took you? Lots of dishes, plus Mom wanted to talk. Anything important? Just that we should visit her more often, eat healthier, flip our mattresses, and and fix that rattling noise in our ventilation system makes when it turns on before it gets worse. The usual then. Pretty much. She's worried about us and all, and you should both be a little more understanding. You say that, but I'm pretty sure you waited until she wasn't looking before you bolted for the door. Coincidence. Shall we get going? Yeah, let's go. She does her best to get us moving, but it's not long before things slow down, thanks to yours truly. Sorry, leg's still out of order. Oh, Eric, I'm sorry. It's fine. Just give me a minute. I give my leg a few experimental shakes to see if I can't coax it into moving more for me today. Months of therapy allowed me to walk unassisted, but I can only still manage a leisurely stroll. It must be tough to get used to the fact that your younger brother can't move like he used to. Okay, ready. We exit the complex together, both sisters now keeping up with my slower pace. It's a small thing, but really makes me appreciate that I have such caring sisters. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday. I don't know why I heard that. I'm thinking of Piano Man. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday. Lots of people out today. Everyone's shopping, eating, and walking around. Beatrice takes us around the streets, pointing at the many landmarks scattered around the city, and an exciting grin on her face, like a hyper-caffeinated tour guide she is. Hilda does her best to provide some sense of where we are in relation to the school and to their apartment in case I ever get lost. We all take a U-Bahn route. That is a stop 1 block away from St. D's shuttle pickup zone, according to the information we got from the brochure. The brochure is anything to go. If the brochure is anything to go by, the school encourages students to explore the city within limits, I assume, for a weekend or class trip with a careful supervision. Most students get to visit the city every week. Any place in particular you want to see, Eric? We don't have to follow Beatrice all day, you know. I'm interested in Stet Park. Beatrice said that's on this route, right? Yes, it is. Just a few stops from here. Stet Park is quieter than the rest of the city, but there are still a lot of people around today. Most people are walking or riding bicycles. Others are enjoying a late lunch at one of the cafes just outside the park. I'm impressed. It's a lot more lively than expected. Tourists are clustered around a few notable statues. I'm actually going to turn this music down a little bit. Looks like it's tuned itself up a bit. Keep that down. I'm impressed. It's a lot more lively than expected. Tourists clustered around the few notable statues, taking selfies in a group shot with their smartphones. Eric, this cafe is fantastic. Let's go inside. The cafe is busy during the lunch hour, with a long line working its way from the entrance to the counter. This place has a lot of great snacks and drinks. They cater to the people who come to the park to take walks and exercise here. So the fare is pretty light then. Beatrice nods. We both work near here, so we usually meet up for lunch and a quick walk. It's become our favorite hangouts. I take a look at what's available. Lots of prepackaged sandwiches, salads, and beverages occupy the shelves. Are these any good? Of course, they make them fresh every day here. Try this one. I don't see how prepackaged chicken can live up to such an endorsement, but I accept the sandwich offered. Free sandwiches have their own scale of quality. This is my personal favorites. Anything else, I'll buy for you today. I dutifully pick out a canned drink and follow Hilda to the cashier. Thanks for lunch. No problem. It's my sisterly duty to treat my little brother on the special occasions like this. You too, Hilda? Feel free to treat your little sister as well. What's your special occasion? I cooked breakfast and you still owe me from that one time you got drunk and called. A sharp jab and Beatrice's side stops her short. Ahem. Chicken or ham, Beatrice? Beatrice grins in delight, eager and to get her free sandwich. Ham, and don't worry, I'll pay for my own drink. It sounds like they still have that same complex dynamic that still eludes me, with Beatrice being able to cook so well and, well, as help out with other places, and as well as help out in other places. It seems that she has a lot of influence. As we sit down, the two sisters talk about what they've been up to in the months since I last saw them at home. Beatrice, as usual, dominates the conversation, going on about term papers and unfair professors, and to how Hilda still can't get a boyfriend after all these years, at which point the latter elbow jabbed her once more into silence. On the surface, they're pretty much the same girls I knew, but years of independence have certainly molded them into something more mature, I guess. Hearing them talk and feeling how much they support me after the accident, they now give off a more reliable kind of aura that feels like they've got things all sorted out. Then you have me crying in the middle of the night and needing to be tucked back into bed by mommy so the bad dreams don't come back. It feels a bit pathetic. My sisters even went through the effort of going on this little tour to cheer me up. I feel thankful that they're such supportive people, though I wish I weren't such a burden to them. I remember my time in secondary school back in Basel. So much drama, so much comforting. Hilda after boy reject. Another jab from Hilda and laughter from Beatrice. What thankfully takes me out of my little mental detour before it went some other dark direction again. Okay, you got me. I suppose I missed secondary school and university a bit. You two should try to enjoy your time in school, especially you, Eric. Since my previous year of school was interrupted, it was said that I have a lot of youthful escapades that I need to catch up on. How much of those are allowed at St. D's? No clue. What I meant was that you should make sure you can get the most out of your year at St. D's. Your therapy obviously comes first, but you don't be afraid to let loose every once in a while. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. Despite the allegedly light fare, the sandwich is actually pretty filling. Cleaning up the table, all of us head back into the city. So what's next? Anything you guys want to show me? Oh, well, I guess we could show you some nice date spots around, right, Hilda? Date spots? Of course, there's a lot of good restaurants and parks here if you're going to take someone on a date. Believe me, we've tried them all out. In fact, here we've arranged them in a little list of recommendations for you. Dude, my boy. She produces a small piece of blue stationery from her pocket and shoves it in my hand. True enough, it's a riddle with a long list of nigh unpronounceable restaurant names and their addresses, complete with a 10-point scaling for each of them. That's Beatrice crosses her arms and pouts to silence any forthcoming objections. Eric, you're 18 now, and that means you're a man in the Wilhelm household. If one of our siblings doesn't know how to lay of the land, he is doomed to romantic failure. It's our duty as sisters to help you out. Did you bug Gustav like this too before he moved out? That explains why he'd rather be out in the mountains. ... I mean, it was a joke, but it looks like it fell flat. And then some. Oh, well, that is... ... I'm sorry, I was just kidding. That's not it, Eric. It just... ... I feel my face burning red from embarrassment. I just made the entire afternoon incredibly weird. Great job, me. Do you miss him, Eric? That's hard to say. I mean, what happened between us, well, he was a bit, yeah. Well, we do too. He's been distant from most of us. I guess it's good to know that I'm not all alone in this. But it still hurts. Anyway, I guess I got to thank you guys for today for all this. This was really nice. My voice falters in a bit as a small lump of coalesces within my throat. I try to mask it with a little chuckle as soon as the words leave my lips, but the slight furrowing of my sister's brows tells me they're easily caught on to the hesitance in my tone. Before I could say anything else, they give me two big comforting smiles, walk up to me, and wrap their arms tightly around my shoulders in a group hug. I really like Beatrice's model, or like how she's drawn. She's really growing on me. I like the big puppy eye kind of look she gives. Hey, what the hell? Any other time I would object to this kind of gesture, especially since we're in public, but I don't put up much resistance. It feels nice, their warmth, a gentle, familiar reassurance in the midst of this deluge of strange new sensations and comforting stew of thoughts and emotions. As they release me, it feels something heavy in my chest, melting gradually into nothingness. Anything for you, baby bro. We're a family, we'll always stick together. Yep, that's our duty. Also, you look a lot uglier than when you're sad, you know? I mean, more so than usual. That is, haha. Hey, that's just uncalled for. I've taken a lungful of the cool afternoon air and return a big smile to match theirs. They may be overly dotting at times, but I know it's always sincere. Feeling better now? Yeah. Knowing that my sisters have my back is reassuring. I know it probably never had to be said out loud, but for me right now, this is something I think is needed to hear before I go to St. D's. Beatrice's cell phone pings. She takes it out and reads it and frowns. Sadly, this concludes our regrettably brief tour of Vienna. We need to meet back with Mom and Dad for dinner. Really? Is it that late? Yeah, we need to catch the U-Bahn back to our place. Let's go. You literally just ate lunch. Make a dash, or the best I can manage with my leg, back to the station, almost missing the next tram back home. Morning comes almost too quickly. I thought the days like this were supposed to take forever to get to. Like Christmas morning or the day after a hard test. I zone out through breakfast, the entire car ride, and to arrival at the main gate. Oh boy. The gate in question isn't particularly imposing or really even that scary. Oh, that's scary. I'm not even that nervous as I cross the gate and into the main campus, populated with a few students wandering the walkways to and from the various buildings. I still have this feeling that the one that sticks in the back of your head asking things like, did I forget to lock the door? Or did I look weird walking around here? I try my best to shake it off, but that's no good. It's no good. Eric, how are you feeling? You haven't said a thing since we got here. I'm alright, just nervous? A little. Mum nods in understanding and pats me on the shoulder. Just tell me if you don't feel good, and we'll go somewhere so you can take a break. Sure. The main building we're approaching is the largest one on campus. It's 3 stories tall and definitely very odd. A massive ivory coats the entrance, adding a natural green patina to the stonework. Isn't this building pretty, Eric? This is where you'll be going for classes. It's nice. I like the older buildings. I like this. It's kind of like the old church back at home. Good morning. Suddenly, a booming voice emerges from the building. Despite the distance, I can hear it very clearly. Is there any loudspeaker nearby? A large man comes out from behind the archway of the entrance. He is waving at us to come inside. Ah, that'll be Dr. Bosworth. Is he always so... I tilt my head disbelievingly towards the man. ... Yes. Hello again, Mr. and Mrs. Wilhelm. So good to see you again. Yes, yes. The large man, Dr. Bosworth, is vigorously shaking my parents' hand as they are old friends seeing each other again. And this must be Eric. He approaches me despite us being almost similar in height. I can't help but feel diminished by his presence. Your parents have already told me so much about you, Eric. Such a gentleman to be joining our halls. He steps back and takes a bow. Oh, on behalf of the other staff here, welcome to St. D's private gymnasium. Private gymnasium. Thanks. He claps his hands together loud enough to scare some of the nearby birds away. Well then, we have a lot of ground to cover today. There's some paperwork inside for you and your parents. Get you signed the tour, you know, the ritual. Ritual? Kidding. He heard us inside with a jolly laugh. If you don't mind, I'd like to begin with a short one-on-one with Eric, please. Make yourselves comfortable in the lobby here. I don't know why I gave him that voice, but I'm loving it nevertheless. We'll be right here then. Podsworth's office is very organized, bookshelves containing dozens of volumes, paperwork neatly stacked, and a desk polished to a mirror shine. It's almost intimidatingly perfect. He settles into his massive desk chair, and it shuffles a few papers, gesturing to the chair opposing his, and he offers me a seat. It's incredibly comfortable. Clearly, this school spares no expense. Now, let's get down to business, Eric. I just have a few questions for you. We like to get a feel for our new students by asking them about their comfort levels and what they want out of school. Okay, makes sense. Glad to hear it. So, my first questions. Do you prefer lessons in English or another language? Does one or the other make you more comfortable? I don't have any preference. Yeah, splendid. I just have a teacher for you. Miss Clays is our English-speaking instructor, and I think you'll get along with her just fine. Sounds good to me. I take it English classrooms have students from a wide variety of countries. You're a smart lad, yes. That's correct. We have lots of people coming in from all over Europe, so we do our best to accommodate everyone. If you went in a German classroom, you'd probably see more people who are native to Germany, Switzerland, or Austria, which is some students would be more comfortable with. Makes sense. Bosworth nods in agreement, marking my responses on a sheet of paper. Indeed, indeed. Next question. How do you feel about coming here? I shift a little bit in my chair. I wasn't expecting such a frank line of questioning. I'm kind of nervous moving here, I guess. It's a new school after all. In truth, I'm kind of freaking out inside. This is all a lot to take in. Even though I was anticipating this, my leg twinges a little bit as if reacting to my state of mind. Bosworth smiles sympathetically. It's not uncommon for our students to feel what you feel, Eric. We at St. D's are always trying our best to listen for when students aren't well or feeling stressed. His words are well practiced and clearly part of a much longer speech, something of which he must have had years, maybe decades of practicing his delivery. Nonetheless, I feel a bit better that he said it. Is there anything you need before you get started at the school? Anything you want me to tell your teachers or supervisors? Once again, his words are practiced yet genuine. Thankfully, I know exactly what I want to ask. In this case, it's something that's been on my mind for a while. Where can I go for a good walk? Bosworth chuckles at my response. I'm happy to inform you that the campus has an excellent series of footpaths for you to use at your leisure. When you take the tour, I'm sure your guide will do their best to point that out to you. And my last question before I let you go on your way, would you like to meet Miss Clays right now? Your parents and I just have a few more forms to fill out, but I'd like for you to meet her before your tour. Sure. It would be nice to meet her before classes start. Wonderful. I'll give her a quick call and let her know. In the meantime, why don't you let your family know you're all done with me? Sure. I love the voice I give him. It's 10 out of 10. Crazy old grin. Like, I'm looking for some gold. Yeah. Okay, all done. How did it go, Eric? Is he nice? It went well. And yeah, Mr. Bosworth is actually pretty nice. I'm glad to hear. I turn around not realizing the man I'm talking about has already finished his call. I just messaged Miss Claus. She's in her classroom at the minute. Hallway, Eric. She'll be expecting you in a minute. Now, I'll need to steal you two away, Mr. and Mrs. Wilhelm, for just a few bits and pieces of last-minute paperwork. He guides him into the office, and I'm left with Beatrice and Hilda. Well, want to check out the campus with me? My sister's not in agreement. I really need to learn how to pronounce a school name. I lead the way down to Miss Clay's classroom, knocking gingerly on the door a few times. Come in. Hello, teacher. A young woman, probably a few years older than Hilda, greets us. Ah, you must be Eric. Welcome. Her voice is prim and proper and polite. Very teacher-esque. Thanks. I was told you'll be my teacher? That is correct. I teach English primarily, but I also hold some of the mathematics courses here on the campus. Oh, and you two are? I'm Eric's older sister. I should just start giving them all weird accents. Make her sound like a robot. Oh, that's Beatrice. I'm Eric's older sister, Beatrice Wilhelm. And I'm his older sister. Oh man, Brunhild. I'm so bad at these names. I apologize. Call me Hilda. They both shake hands with Miss Clays, who smiles warmly. It's nice to see family members so interested in the school. Where are you coming from? We actually live in Vienna, but Eric is from Baselstadt. Oh, have you shown him the city? We offer trips around the city on most weekends. We have. Eric seemed to like it a lot. It's a nice city. I'd like to explore it some more soon. Have you taken the tour of the campus yet? Not yet. We'll be going soon once our tour guide gets here. There's a knock at the door, distracting Miss Clays from whatever she was about to say. Come in. Oh, it's you, Ella. Ella. Ela. Ela? I'm gonna call it Ela. A young girl enters from outside. Is Eric here? I don't know why. I'm just blowing voices. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's me. Great, I'm Ela Shin. Sahin? Shun? I don't know. I feel so sorry, people. I'm butchering these names. Ela Shine. Shahin? Ela Shahin? I don't know. I feel so bad. I'll be giving you a tour of the campus. Ela is a dark-skinned, slender girl about my age. Her uniform is neatly pressed, almost like it's cut out of the glossy pamphlets of the school sent me. The rest of her looks are just as polished. Her hair, her face, and even her beret looks to be picture perfect. Sorry, beret. Nice to meet you, Ela. It's nice to meet you too, Eric. Now, let's get started, shall we? Right this way, please. The tour is nothing out of the ordinary, even if the school is. This hallway houses most of the art and music rooms, where the elective classes and This hallway houses most of the art and music rooms, where elective classes and after-hour clubs are held. There we go. I learned English. The buildings themselves are beautiful, but I cannot help but notice the additions, light filtering through huge windows with suspiciously thick glass. Wide corridors dart with emergency phone lines. Ela makes no mentions of the preventive measures the brochures seem so eager to promote. If Hilda has caught on, she must have kept her mouth shut, mirroring my quiet concern. Beatrice, on the other hand, is in love with the place. Oh my god, the ceilings go on forever. Eric, check out the rafters. It's like something out of a movie. Private Gymnasium St. D was established in 1858, while there was been modifications to install modern conveniences and the like. For most of the part, the building itself has been very well preserved. Beatrice practically bounces from room to room, eternally running ahead and lagging behind to take in each new sight. It's so cool. It's like a castle. It is rather spacious, isn't it? Mr. Bodsworth likes to sell his historical significance to architectural richness of the place on summer visitors, but I'm sure you're not interested in all that canned stuff. From her face, I can tell Hilda actually would want to hear it, but she doesn't speak up. So I'll just stick to the basics. The floor above us is reserved for the assorted odds and ends, with some offices, storage rooms, and nothing very impressive. The view is nice, though. Let's just head through the next building, shall we? Beatrice gives the stairs a longing glance, but reluctantly follows. So, Ela, how long have you been here? 3 years. Transfer students are very common, but St. D's... Thank you! St. D's has been my only secondary school. But why are you here? I shove the thought out of my mind, but there's nothing there to take its place. My mouth makes a half-hearted attempt to cover for it. It looks nice. It is. Hilda shoots me a worried glance, but Ela speaks up before the silence has a chance to entrance itself, gesturing past the hallway windows. The lake is a popular spot to relax, although there's no fishing or swimming allowed. There is a pool, though, which is obviously cleaner than the lake in any case. Oh, that's pretty. As we descend the stairs and emerge from the building into blinding sunlight, Ela points towards a small structure on the right. The chapel is always open, though. Though not always staffed. Services are held every day if you are interested. She switches to her left. And the dorms are across the way. We'll head there in a moment. But for now, Ela leads us straight forward, pushing open larger than average double doors into the main building, central to the campus. Beatrice gasps audibly. We call this the atrium, which is fitting since it's the heart of the building. Most of the classrooms can be accessed from here, as well as the library. It can be a little noisy, but if that doesn't bother you, it's a very calming place to study or relax. Lots of places to relax, I see. Wouldn't want us getting anxious after all. As impressed as I thought I ought to be, once again, doubt colors my thoughts. Eli takes my silence for awe and gives me a knowing smile, and that feels surely out of place given my circumstances. Yeah, it has that effect on people, doesn't it? Well, the classrooms aren't nearly as impressive. They're pretty standard, actually. So let's skip those, right? Okay, sorry about that. After giving us another moment to appreciate the decor, Ela turns to hold the door for us, and I obediently follow my sisters back outside. Ela regains the lead and begins to direct us to the dorms. And that's pretty much the tour. I'm not the best at this, I know, but hopefully I managed to highlight some of the more interesting spots for you. After a moment, I feel an elbow on my ribs and glance up to find Beatrice attached to it. An impatient glare on her face behind her. Ela's adopted a slightly worried expression. Yeah, it's fine. It looks good. Good, lighten up, Eric. This place is amazing. Yeah, the parts they're showing us. Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of shocked, I guess. Another moment of uncomfortable tension later. Ela sighs, slowing to a halt, then smile fading into a look of empathy. Her tour guide voice drops into something more subdued. I realize this is a lot to take in, yes. I'm sure you have your own ideas on what you expect here, and I'm not going to say that's unreasonable. What I will say is the school is probably the best chance you have addressing these issues rather than ignoring them. Ela leans against the trunk of a nearby tree, her hands clasped behind her back. You aren't the first person I've given this tour to, you know. Students from all over the world have gone through exactly the same problem, faced the exact same fears. You're afraid your condition, whatever it may be, is controlling your life by forcing you to come here. But as long as you're acting on fear, you aren't going to make progress. If all you're doing is trying not to get worse, you're not going to get better. Of course, the school isn't perfect. None of us are. What's most important is that you focus on what the school can give you, not what it's taking away. A heavy silence settles in, one I'm not sure how to break. I understand what she's saying, I guess. It'll just take some time to put it into practice. Thanks, Ela. That's probably pretty good advice. And for what's worth, I'm sorry, I guess. I'm just worried. The sound of splitting wood and rustling leaves interrupts me, causing all of us to instinctively jump closer to Ela away from crashing. Bah. Before I even have the chance to register the event, a student rises from the debris, dusting herself off and initiating conversation. Did she fall off of the tree? As casually as one might wave hello. Oh, hey, Ela, didn't see you there. Don't mind me. Really record. That tree is a bit iffy, and you must be Eric. You just fell out of a tree, and you're saying that tree is iffy. Lady, come on. Though be it, I find that amusing. She thrusts a hand in my direction, a 1,000-watt smile on her face. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. Ela seems to have sorted out the staring at the girl, and with a mixture of despair and panic. Irene Ross, at your service. Nice to meet you, Irene. I'm Eric. Hang on, where did you hear my name before? Huh? Oh, it was kind of lucky guess. I figured it was either that or Aaron. I mean, lip reading is more of an art than a science. Look, it's not important. And hey, welcome to St. Dean's. Irene throws her arms in a wide gesture, expands the campus behind her. A thin line of blood seeps from a fresh cut on her cheekbone. Ela's face is completely drained of color. Hilda's jaw hangs slightly agape. At some point, Beatrice has taken the opportunity to take cover behind Hilda in case Irene were spontaneously combust, which doesn't seem terribly far-fetched. None of them seem eager to join in this conversation. Thanks? No problem. It's always good to see a new face. I'm sure you'll fit right in, Eli. You're giving him the tour, right? I'd be so happy to lend a hand. No one knows more about the campus than I do. She holds up the case strung loosely around her neck, and now I realize a pair of well-worn binoculars. Hila finds her voice, maybe an octave higher than when she lost it. We're fine. It's fine. You probably have stuff to do, right? Nope. Totally open today. Just doing my rounds. Nothing really happening around here. Except Eric, of course. So I figure I might as well drop in. Ha! Drop in. I didn't even mean to do that. Hey, how much have you got into anyway? Has she shown you the old therapy rooms? You know, the ones where they still have all the cool antique heavy-duty leather restraints and metal dentist chairs and stuff. Oh my god, woman. Irene! Huh? What? Irene follows Ila's line of sight to me, and understanding lights up her face. Oh, hey, listen, they don't use that stuff unless shit's like really hitting the fan, so... What are you doing in a tree? Hilda is the first to recover some semblance of control over the situation. Oh, you know, basic recon, information gathering, stuff like that. It's like people watching, only with a laser mic. Wait, what? Beatrice breaks from her cover, a look of excitement on her face. You have a laser microphone? Irene here likes to eavesdrop on people, but she usually has the best intentions. I'm not sure if she's trying to convince us herself, but either way, it doesn't do much. Oh, come on. It's not like Eric's name's a big secret. She turns to me suddenly intense. Is your name a big secret, though? Because that would be awesome. No, just Eric. Irene's face falls a little, and then she looks over her binoculars for a moment, before struggling a little. Damn, that's a shame. I mean, your name, not your name, that's fine. Secret names are just cool. Not that I have one that you know about. Nobody has one. Well, of course, you'd think that. They're secrets. Dumbass. I don't think this place is going to be good for my mental health. Anyways, it's nice to meet you guys. I guess you need some time to like adjust. But seriously, everyone here is really cool, and I know. So don't worry about it, Kay. Sure. It's nice to meet you too. These are my sister Hilda and Beatrice. I apologize for my earlier. Please tell me you actually have a laser mic. Of course. Want to check it out? Oh my god, please. Beatrice glances back at us, an expression of childlike joy. This is the best school ever. I'm starting to agree that with itself. With Irene at the helm, the tour recommences. Hila seemingly resigned to her inclusion, although calling it a tour at this point isn't exactly accurate. So that building is probably the oldest, at least judging from the brickwork. There's this one patch where the bricks are newer, but I can't for the life of me figure out why. Maybe they renovated it? Nah, it's too small of a section. I was thinking damage, but there's nothing on the record about the accidents. I tried getting a look behind it, but it turns out that kind of thing is frowned on here. You are chiseling out a section of the building. Yeah, for science, this is supposed to be a place of learning, you know. What's the building used for, if I might ask? Huh? I don't know. Like exercise and stuff. They got a gym in there. It's not very interesting. But brickwork is. No, what's behind the brickwork might be, like Ark of the Covenant or Nazi gold. Our unfortunate guide wrestles with herself before letting the comment go uncontested, but her expression is pretty informative nonetheless. Irene doesn't seem to notice. As we explore the more mundane aspects of the campus, ironically, I find myself relaxing more, although Hila seemed concerned that I think badly of them. The truth is, my imagination had far worse ideas. Really, it's those small touches of a personalization and perfections that make it feel normal. Eventually, we wander away from the campus, Hila regaining the lead as we head towards the woods. Irene gives a minute shrug, but seems content to follow along. Before I have a chance to ask where we're heading next, Hila slows to a halt. Anything interesting out here? Not really, I just enjoy the scenery. Beatrice turns to Irene. Okay, but is there anything interesting out here? Nope, there are some rumors about wolves and stuff, but I haven't seen one. The trees here are a nice vantage point for the west side of the building, though. Well, it's a beautiful school, if nothing else. I apologize for the brief delay, but I sometimes just feel the need to stop for moments like this. It's actually kind of nice to get out of the city life for a change. You don't really think about looking up too often when you're surrounded by walls. In fairness, you also work more indoors than you should, sis. In fairness, I don't get much of a say in the matter. My two sisters share a short glance and a smile, which in turn leads to me finding a smile as well. I turn towards Irene, who doesn't seem too enamored of the moment. I move to the mention of this, but she beats me to the explanation. Yeah, there's a building there. I've seen it before. You could take time to appreciate it. I can appreciate things without looking at them. In fact, I appreciate all kinds of junk all the times of the day. Multitasking is but one of my many skills. I even offer lessons. We could appreciate the building while we do anything else. We've been in those woods forever. Can't be more than 10 minutes. Forever. The tour picks up again as we make our way to the last legs of the school. Last legs of the school, though after everything that we just had covered, I'm not really sure what else there is to show. Familiar locations begin to repeat, and soon I realize we're now begun to take full circle path around the entire campus. So Hila, what do we have left to visit before the tour ends? Getting bored already, Eric? Even while being led by a pair of Beatrice lets out a short yelp as Hilda knocks her in the gut with an elbow. So, through with the tour? I didn't mean to sound as impatient as I did, and in fact I was already quite grateful for what Hila was doing. Even if she was just following orders, she still did a wonderful job helping us. No, I mean, well, it just seems like a big school and all. It's just hard to wrap my head around everything. Hila lets out a calm smile, looking as if she was prepared to share some very good news with me. Well, you're in luck. I have just about one more location to show you guys. In my opinion, that's probably one of the more important locations you'll be familiarizing yourself with. Saving the best for last? It's the medical facilities, actually. Almost immediately, the comment feels like a punch in the gut. Hila continues, seemingly oblivious. Each unit has general counseling check-ins through. It's pretty low-key depending on how often sessions need to be scheduled. How often? I feel my throat begin to close up on me. The thought pounds against my head like a migraine. How? How often would that be? Once a week is generally common, but it usually depends on the situation that you and the doctor will be meeting up with, mutually decide on. Is it normal for these sessions to be scheduled often? Pretty much. I mean, once a week is minimum after all. I tend to get called in pretty often, actually. It's kind of like the principal's office, only with therapists. You could serve to take them a little more seriously. Yeah, I get enough from them, thank you. My heartbeat is picking up and I struggle to focus on my breathing before it becomes noticeable. Could I pass out on this part of the door? The others stop and look at my direction. I think I've pretty much gotten an understanding of the campus, is all. I'll pick up the rest as I go. I try to cover it with a laugh, but even I can tell the sounds off. My sister side me with concern, but Hila doesn't seem to have picked up on it as quite easily. I mean, you should be able to locate the different facilities your first week. Are you? I'm fine. I shoot my hands up in defense and a flash smile, but I can feel myself breaking into a cold sweat. I just can't do this. Sorry, I need to sit down. I need to leave. I want to save so badly, just spit out and then head back to my sister's apartment. Head back to the bedroom and sleep away any inclination of what's happening. Sleep and go back to the way things were. My heart rate continues to accelerate. Oh my goodness, I'm bad with words. Accelerated by the multiple pairs of eyes trained on me. It's hard to keep myself standing at this point, my leg jointing at the rebelling joining the rebellion currently in progress. I sit on the curb before it gets out entirely. Ela quickly finds her way next to me alongside Hilda and Beatrice, who are on me in a flash. Eric, it's okay. This kind of nervousness is completely normal to a new Saint D student. No, I know, I just, please stop. I can't breathe. Just breathe. In, out. Takes me a few moments, but soon I can control my thoughts a little better. I'm far from fine, but I can do the best to alleviate some concerned faces. I'm okay, I'm just feeling a little winded from the tour is all. Well, rest as long as you need to. Ela, why are you so normal? The word comes to me so naturally to mind, but a place like this, it hardly seems too appropriate. In fact, I'm a little disappointed with myself that thought had come up so easily to me. Composed? Years of practice, though. I guess it's fair to say it comes with the territory. Well, I'm sure everyone wouldn't want to... Ela? An aged voice calls out our tour guide, who immediately turns the main recognition. Now a bit closer he looks. Refined, standing tall, the man is not only dressed, but carries himself in an air of intelligence and ability unlike anyone I've seen outside my brother. Ah, Dr. Faber. The man nods at the title, glancing around at the three of us currently on the ground. Ela stands while Beatrice and Hilda remain crouched by my side. I'm not sure where Irene went. Am I interrupting your tour? I don't know Bosworth, but still had you working on these. No, not at all. We were just... She shifts her head and makes an annoying glance towards me. One that stings a bit more than I was expecting it to. We just finished, actually. I was leading him back to the administration building. Without missing a beat, his eyes singled me out immediately. I looked that seems to read into me deeply. It looks like he's beginning to understand something that I can't. Do my best not to stare too intently back, though. In my situation, I'm not really sure how to present myself. Smile and introduce myself, maybe? Could be a start. And so my name is Eric. The interruption comes naturally, while my smile doesn't, giving off an attitude far more rude than I was intending. Still, I receive a short nod from the doctor, not responding with any ill interest towards my outburst. He reaches his hand out, despite how slow it takes me to get up and meet him, patiently keeps it extended until he meets mine. Pulling me up, the two of us end up in a handshake. It is a pleasure then, Eric. All things considered, I might expect to see you more in the future. Ela looks like she's attempting to add something, but the man's presence is as large and overwhelming. It's not a frightening presence, but a look that holds a lot of power. So what do you make of St. D so far? See it as home? I answer truthfully, I don't know. He gives me another short nod as if the answer he was expecting all along. Giving one final look at everyone, then he rests his eyes on Ela. It's going to see that you and Irene are well. Oh, come on. Irene's voice bursts up from a nearby bush, though Ela gives an unfazed smile and returns to the farewell. Well, I shouldn't keep myself. I have quite a bit of paperwork waiting for me at the office after all. Good luck with learning your direction, Eric. The last look he gives me is one that I can't seem to decipher. His face is intense, but his eyes are warm and inviting. I shouldn't feel nervous around this man, but I also feel like he has some kind of person I wouldn't want on my bad side. Just what kind of doctor is he? Thanks. Giving one last to Dr. Faber, turns around and walks opposite of the administration building, towards what I can assume are medical facilities on campus. I dislike him. The moments Irene is next to us again, though, still has her eyes solely fixed on the back of Faber's head. When did you... and can you teach me? Irene beams with pride, but Ela cuts her off before she can rival her secrets. Well, we covered everything then. Any other confusion in? Always someone you can ask around if you get lost. Ela gives a knowing smile towards me, though at this point it doesn't feel so bad to accept it. From your ability as a tour guide, I think he's in pretty good shape. Right, Eric? I nod towards my sister, proceeding to turn back towards Ela for a very well-deserved thank you. Don't mention it. I was happy to help out. So I guess we had back now, right? You sound like this is a goodbye or something. As a student council president this year, I expect that you'll be seeing a lot more of me. I'm sure he's looking forward to it. My sister smiles slyly, despite the sharp look given off by Hilda. But in all, it seems like everyone's previous look of concern has faded. Everyone is back to the welcoming sights of St. D. So you're going to join us on the way back, Irene? I was planning not to. Someone has to keep Eric on the lookout for campus dangers. Falling tree branches notwithstanding. It probably wasn't the most textbook tour I've ever been on, but shockingly it could have gone worse. Whether I liked it or not, this was a place going to be seeing as a home. Ela, Dr. Faber, Irene were the only few people I would be getting to know. In future, still a hazy mess. But right now, the only way for me to go is forward. We continue to stop in front of a large building that holds the offices. Well, it looks like our little tour is over. I'd like to be able to say this tour has put me at ease, but if anything, it's put me more on edge. Sure, I didn't see padded walls or restraints, but I did see a student fall from a tree before talking about lip reading and Nazi gold. Then there was that run-in with Dr. Faber. My palms are sweaty just thinking about meeting him again. Beatrice still looks like she's off in her own world, while Hilda seems to be feeling as easy as I am. Ela breaks the silence with a small cough before speaking. I should probably get back to work. It was nice meeting you, Eric. Give me a call if you need to know anything, okay? Sure, thanks. Ela leaves with a wave and a smile. I offer a half-hearted wave back, but seems to be turned around by the time my hand is raised. Irene sneakers as she notices my half-hearted wave. Before leaving, she turns to me conspiratorially. I mean, if you actually need info. She talks a big game, but she doesn't know the land like I do. Right, thanks. Erin winks and spins on her heels just like Ela did before strutting off towards the forest. Beatrice releases a small sigh from her new best friend, walks away before turning her eyes to me. Eric! What? Oh, nothing. That means it's definitely something. I mean, Ela was cute, right? A little question with aim right at me. Gulp. Sure. And what about Irene? Hilda offers an aggressive elbow to Beatrice's side, almost knocking her off her feet. Thanks, Hilda. Thanks. Think you get lost much? No, doubt. I'm pretty sure they gave me a map in my welcome pack, though. Good. It looks like a very nice campus. Definitely nicer than mine. And the teachers are nicer, too. Oh, dear. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm tired. She punctuates her sentence with a drawn-out sigh. I don't think there'll be a teacher on this planet that Beatrice could get along with. Your lectures are perfectly fine. It's just that you keep arguing with them. Can you blame me with the amount of work they give out? You're a university student. What did you expect? Less homework, clearly. Yes, he understands. This casual conversation is calming after the whirlwind that my tour turned out to be. I expect my day to turn out very differently. It's actually a really good demo. Mom and Dad finally exit the large building and make their way over to us, a small folder of papers resting on Dad's hands. Ah, we escaped. He certainly had a lot to say about the school. That's good, he's passionate. And he's going to make sure you get the best care possible, Eric. Right. Once I'm settled in, I'll feel a lot better. That's great. How was your tour? It was good. A lot of places to see. I think I might go for a walk a little later on. Just be sure to be careful. It looks like the weather is going to get worse later on. There's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing. Doesn't Gustav say that all the time? Mom and Dad practically freeze at the mention of his name. Silence lingers in the air. Well, I'm sure it'll be a nice walk, Eric. This time Hilda freezes a sour look on her face. Mom, if we keep ignoring it, then you're just wasting his time here. That calming feeling is torn from my body almost as quick as it arrived. The last thing I wanted was for my family to fight about this. Oh, don't worry about that now, Eric. It's going to be fantastic here, right? Dad nods along with his usual deadpan expression. My family hasn't mentioned Gustav's name directly for a long time, probably for my sake. I try to find the words that I really want to say, but they don't come. Mom quickly checks her watch and launches her goodbyes as thoroughly as possible. She pulls me into a hug, almost breaks my ribs as she squeezes. Dad follows shortly after, though with a much more relaxed handshake. Well, you better be off. Make sure to relax a little, okay? You've got nothing to worry about here. We just had a phone call. We're just a phone call away if you need anything, alright? Okay. Aside from the fact I'm in a school for the mentally impaired, who knows who could be waiting around the next corner. There's a train you can take that will get you home in a few hours. You should come around for the holidays, at least, son. I can't help but grin at him. Wouldn't want to miss out on Mom's Christmas ham after all. Dad smiles and nods in agreement. Alright, come on girls, let's go and get some dinner before the restaurants close. Her usual peppiness returns to the Gustav issue sidestep completely. Where do you want to go? In a matter of seconds, Beatrice forgets what we were talking about. Hilda looks sour for a second, but folds into Mom's authority without a sigh. Well then, take care, Eric. We love you lots. I'll text you. Both sisters move in for a hug, and then we are quickly herded towards the car while Mom fusses over them. Guess we are going to be left here now? Yep. And now, I'm alone. For a few moments, I simply stand there in silence, waiting for my parents and siblings to make their way to the car park, where my family sedan is waiting. I see Hilda throwing me one more furtive look in my direction, probably going to make sure I haven't been abducted by aliens when they weren't looking. And I wave in reassurance. She smiles a little, and I nod as if the gesture of encouragement. They finally board the car, and soon enough, it's a purring to life, purring out of the lot, and at last through the great metal gates of Private Gymnasia St. D's. As I watch it disappear into the streets, a sinking feeling churns in my chest like a pack of rats. There's this cruel, childless part of me tauntingly coaxing me to charge after them in a last-ditch effort to turn back and escape, to perhaps deny everything that's happened so far. A wiser part of me, however, begrudgingly acknowledges the simple fact that there's nothing to return to beyond the gates anymore. I've been pushed off a cliff. I fly or fall now. This sucks. I throw my head back and look to the sky, staring at thick swirls of clouds lazily, clumsily crawling later, and a pool overhead, blotting out in the skies with formless veil of gray. Coupled with the sharp silhouettes of buildings around me looming over me like hungry eldritch monsters, it makes for a sinister, almost horror movie-like effect. It's not really the kind of atmosphere I need to brighten my mood right now. I pull my hands out of my pockets and decide to retire to the dormitory buildings in the meantime. I know I told my parents I was going to take a short stroll to better familiarize myself with the campus structure, but honestly, I can't attend to that at a later date. This school is so big, I nearly have forgotten most of the directions Ela gave us during the tour. The last thing I want to is look like an idiot getting lost so early into my stay. After all, I'm lost enough as it is within this gnarly jungle of apprehensions and worries inside my head. I just want some rest, some time by myself to lay down and let the things sink in properly, some time to process what's happening, and how and where to go from here. I'm glad to remember just enough to reach the boys' dorm without much trouble. Finally reaching it, I tarry a bit on the steps to take in the sight of the titanic building before me. This thing's been here for at least a century by the looks of it. Standing proud and stately, wearing an air of stern, aloof majesty certainly accumulated over its evidently long, stored existence. It doesn't look like something people actually live in. Really, it probably looked like a home in a fantasy movie or a history documentary. Even the very doors look imposing and intimidating. All that said, however, I guess I'd better get used to it sometime soon. For this year, at the very least, is going to be my home. My hand alights on the door handle with a big gulp and the last pangs of hesitancy in my mind. I give it a decisive twist and step inside. I somehow expected the place to be a lot noisier. Before I entered, I briefly entertained by a mental image of a shrieking group of kids wreaking ungodly havoc on each other in the room while a flock of warders try to defuse the situation in vain. In reality, all that welcomes me inside is deafening, awkward silence. A small flock of boys are sitting on the floor and the couch, some of them merely giving me a curious glance that lasted for all of 1 second before they returned to whatever they were doing prior. Some are playing cards, some board games, while others are simply immersed in their phones and music players or staring at the TV with rapt attention. How normal, relatively speaking, of course. I wonder if I should say hi to them. I'm sort of hoping to acquaint myself with my new community, but I can't manage it without communicating some horrendous gaffe. Can I manage it without one of them suddenly slashing my jugular with a box cutter? God damn it, Eric, get a hold of yourself. And in the end, all I do is give them a stiff nod and a salutation and quickly flee to my dormitory room. It is before I find an opportunity to pull myself into further embarrassment. I scan the room door as I pass along the corridor. If nothing else, this place is really well kept. As well as supernaturally pristine, each polished, varnished door looking like a juxtaposed copy-paste of each other. The corridor also pretty much devoid of any signs of life, barring the occasional teacher or patrolling guard or loitering student, none of whom give me as much as a second glance. The only person who here seems to have any pay attention to my arrival is this guy in the room, 90, who followed me within his eye from his slightly open door. But what's less said about that, the better. Room 97, 98, 99, 100. There we go. Room 101. Stepping inside, the door swings shut behind me. I feel like I should have some sort of responsibility at this point, but I'm looking around the room. I can't think of anything I need to do. Everything has already been put away, even the clothes for my suitcase. I slump down onto my neatly made bed and I sweep the room with a glance. My room, for all intents and purposes, my home, at least for the time being, it feels weird, almost like meeting a new person in a sense. My gaze lands on some papers on the bedside table. For lacking anything bad, I pick up and rifle through them. They aren't anything very interesting. A leaflet that I already seen was mailed to us along with everything else a while ago. Under that, a quaint newsletter that looks like as though it was put together by the students. Nothing too surprising here, either. Though there are a few pages dedicated to advertising the school's apparently numerous clubs and that catch my attention. Cooking, knitting, music, track, gaming, plothling, bomb constructing. Okay, there actually weren't anything like that. The last two still. It sounds like there's plenty of interesting stuff to do. Maybe check some of that at some point. Might as well make the most out of my time here, though I'll doubt I'll be running on the track team anytime soon. A schedule of upcoming events was text followed by a map of the grounds. Finally, to my surprise, a personal timetable with all my classes. I expect that I would have had to pick that up in homeroom tomorrow or something. They must really look after you here. All it does remind me of what kind of place I've just landed myself in. During the tour of the school, Ela certainly made sure to give us the best first impressions of the school. She highlighted the beautiful architecture, the scenery, the wonderful experiences that I'll be having here, and what a godsend this place is for people of our kind. She really sounded like an incredibly skilled saleswoman. She must have had lots of experience with this kind of thing, and then reassuring parents their lost darling babies will be fine and everything wonderful and good within St. D's. Of course, even she's boasted her 5-star hotel amenities amenities in the school that it does exactly squat to hide the truth of what the school is in the end. It's a glorified scrap heap for damaged, defective people. I know she did her best to reassure me that that's not the case, but it's no mean feat to shake off these lingering apprehensions and doubts from my mind. Still, in spite all of that, I do what I want to believe in what she said. I want to, I need to. At least give this place a chance. In the months following the incidents in the mountains, I felt like my life began to slow down into a crawl until it finally stopped moving. Days and nights came and went, months passed and seasons turned, but I lagged behind, trapped helplessly in the strange, dreary limbo, unmoving, unchanging. The accident may have not been fatal, and it may have even injured me grievously, but I'm still snatched to it, snatched so much away from me, stripped away a part of who I used to be. I know that if I don't keep pushing forward, if I throw this one last chance away, I might never be able to regain the things I've lost. Thunder rumbles in the distance, and the first drops of rain descend, pitter-pattering on the window and tracing narrow streaks of water as they cascade down the glass pane. The quiet white noise of the subsequent rain showers feels a bit melancholy but soothing, like a lullaby without words. I sink into the softness of my bed and close my eyes. Tomorrow is my new life. I will begin in the earnest. My mind wanders down a million different routes of thought, thinking of what could happen and how things would turn out, but really the most I can do at this point is guess. The decisions I make, the paths I'll take, only they can give me the answers to that. A shaft of pale sunlight wakes me up from a shallow, restless sleep before my alarm. Despite the bright morning sun, my room feels chilly and I shiver in my thin pajamas. Well, I'm going to call that for episode 1 of the demo. I don't know how much of this game is left and I don't know how much we've played. But so far, I'm really enjoying this. It's a very good, detailed game. I like the descriptive words, even though I can't say half of them. The story is actually pretty deep, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It gives off a really good ambience, and also is so far with these mental disorders, it's kind of questions I guess you could consider yourself in if you were in his situation of you don't want to acknowledge you have a problem, and if you have a problem, you don't want to, no one, if they have a serious problem, it's hard to accept the fact that you want to deal with something like that, because in order to fix it, you have to acknowledge you have a problem, and not everyone likes acknowledging they have an issue. But to anyone who wants to play this game or wants to know more about this game, I'll link their website to the description and their Discord, because I think everyone should come and join. I think it's a very good game. The creators and the developers are really nice. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed Missing Stars Demo Part 1.